But, I got the experience. I can say, as going to Catholic school my entire life, that was definitely, until you told me about it, I had no idea what gefilte fish was. And, like, looking it up before, like, I found out that in Yiddish, gefilte means stuffed. So I'm like, when I think of foods that are considered stuffed, I'm thinking, like, stuffed peppers, stuffed mushrooms. And, like, you look at those, and those come out, they smell good, they look good, and you're like, wow, that's going to be good. And you gave me quote unquote stuffed fish, and it didn't. That is not what I had pictured in my mind. So, I mean, honestly though, it wasn't bad. Like, I wouldn't highly recommend it to anyone, but I wouldn't tell anyone not to eat it. Like, I don't know. It was just like, it was an experience for me. It was a middle of the road kind of food.
All right, all right. I don't remember if we talked about this during our Seder, but the whole point of eating gefilte fish on the Sabbath, and it just so happens, obviously, like you said, this year Passover landed on the Sabbath, which is why we had it with dinner. Gefilte fish is very symbolic, which is why it's eaten. It's kind of looked at as a like the smell is an aphrodisiac, and it kind of has this symbolism to end quote be fruitful and multiply. Which if you've ever taken a look at, which you have because you went to Catholic school, if you ever taken a look about for you the Old Testament, or for me my full Bible, a lot of it is involved with being fruitful and multiplying, and the fish symbolizes to be fruitful and multiplying, as well as the Hebrew word. It's dag, D-A-G. The Hebrew word for fish is dag, and that is relevant to the Hebrew number of 7. Now, 7 is also a very important number in religion because it took God 7 days to create the world, and on the seventh day he rested. So the whole point of the Sabbath is resting, which is why you eat gefilte fish on the Sabbath. Now, the whole Seder itself was a new experience for you in general because you, like you said, you've never gone to a Passover Seder before.
Yeah, never.
Now, for me, it's not that big of a deal anymore. But when we were reading the Haggadah and we were all reclining specifically on the left side because that's just what we do in the 4 questions. Now, I just want to know when you were sitting down and you were watching all of us read the Haggadah, how we were dipping in the salt water for the tears and then in the wine for all of the plagues, just kind of going through that whole experience. I just want to know, how does that relate to your like Easter Sunday? Because I know Easter and Passover are very similar, even though they're different religions. They're all, both based off of the Passover Seder. I just want to know how does that relate to your Sunday Easter experience?
Well, I'd say first of all, I mean, it was pretty humbling for me. Like, I like being able to experience first of all different cultures. So, like, I was very grateful that you invited me and your mom and let me come over to just experience it first of all. So, and I mean, and you were talking about like 7 before, so like you were saying that like Passover and Easter kind of are similar because they always fall right around the same time of year and everything. Like 7, I don't know if it's the same in the Jewish religion, but 7, like, again, ties, like you said, to, God's created everything in 7 days. To me, I was always told 7 symbolized completion. So, like, even in the New Testament, 7 appears a few times, and again, like you said, appears throughout the Old Testament. So 7, like, I always just symbolize completion to me, and I feel like you could pick any number in the Bible, the Old Testament, New Testament, and symbolizes something. But I'd say that the difference for me between Easter and going to like a Passover dinner is we don't really have any necessary, I would say, what would be the right word, rituals or ceremonies that we do at dinner. So, like, for me personally, my family usually goes to the Easter Vigil, which is the first Easter Mass. We have an Easter candle at Mass, and they usually do it Saturday night going into Sunday, usually late at night. this year was at 7. In years past, they usually actually did a midnight mass, but they just weren't getting as good of a turnout, so they moved it earlier in the day. It's like I went to that this year, and that's when new members of the church get confirmed. They receive their first communion, they receive their baptism, whatever sacrament you haven't gotten yet. It's all the adults that go through the RCIA program, which stands for Rite of Christian Initiation for Adults. So, like, to me, that's like the more of the spiritual